Hey guys. Alright, so whether you have heard about this condition from a family member, you've seen it on TV or whatnot, you've likely heard of spinal cord injuries. So my name is Jared West, and I have a personal history with said condition. So I'm going to go over briefly the anatomy of the spinal cord, my personal history with the condition, and basically how spinal cord injuries are labeled and how they manifest. So the spinal cord is the large length of nerves that extends from the base of your brain to in between your hip and tailbone. It's protected by an advanced set of bones, muscles, tissues, ligaments, and discs, and they all work simultaneously as a sort of advanced cage to protect the advanced set of nerves. The purpose is, even though they're a set of advanced nerves, the purpose is relatively simple, to just transmit messages to and from the brain to other parts of the body. And just to clarify, the spinal cord it's the exact same organ as the brain. It's completely connected, there's no separation. The only difference is the brain's organs serve a variety of advanced functions, while the spinal cord is just the pathway for the brain to travel to other parts of the body. So, the higher up the spinal cord, the higher the prominence of function. So, essentially, if you were to have a spinal cord injury up here, the prognosis and likelihood of recovery would be way, way worse as opposed to something down here in the lumbar spine. So, spinal cord injuries. There are two classifications of spinal cord injuries. There's complete and there's incomplete. Complete means that any level of function below the level of injury is essentially non-existent. The nerves below the injury are essentially dead. That means if I were to have an injury at the T1, T level, somewhere around here, I would not be able to feel my stomach. My digestive system would have various issues. I could not control my bladder. I couldn't feel my legs. Essentially everything below here, nerve function-wise, is dead. Incomplete means just that, incomplete. So let's say I had an injury at my neck level. I may be able to move my legs perfectly fine, but my arm may be completely paralyzed. Also, that it could also mean that if you were to have an incomplete injury, you could have full function on one side of the body while the other side is horribly damaged. You would see things like that usually with people with stroke, but it can happen with spinal cord injuries as well. So I'm not gonna put a bunch of slides of the different ways that they study the spinal cord, but essentially ways that they do it is MRIs, which they use magnetic resonance to see the soft tissues of the body. Other ways that they do it is through a CT scan. That's used to see the bony parts that connect to the soft tissue. And also simple x-rays are done to determine if there are any vertebral fractures and whatnot. So, my personal experience, that is me. So, what happened was, last year, around late September, I was experiencing this odd pain in my upper neck, and I moved my neck just a little too far, felt a pop, and cold numbness went all down my arm, could barely move my arm and everything, and then over the course of several weeks, it spread to other parts of my body. Some parts more affected than others. And essentially, after various tests, various MRIs, they figured out I had this thing called os odontodium, which basically, the cervical spine goes C1, C2, C3, And what happened for me was there's this bone called the dens, and this is supposed to be attached right here by the bone, and it was not. So essentially what they had to do was tack it down with hardware, place it back into a natural position to keep me from essentially being crippled and dying. So my hope is that my experience and my research has given you a tangible understanding of what the spinal cord is and how injuries manifest.